Bienvenue, chaque année change la nature. Printemps, paupières, bois fleuris, l'été, côté bel soleil avec l'automne, aux feuilles, pieds, bois tombés. En hiver, la nature met en manteau blanc. C'est le ça, tous petits oiseaux besoin chauffer. Solaire était caché, comme s'il peut paraître avec l'hiver. Ciel la guerre, belles étoiles.
Radio 4 saisons.
There comes a time when someone wants to listen to something new. There comes a time when everyone deserves the best for themselves. There comes a time when a passion becomes a mission. Welcome to the colorful station. Welcome, Guillaume Kofi.
Écoutez, Guillaume Kofi vous présente, tous les jeudis soirs, dès 17h, sur les ondes de la radio 4 saisons, les rendez-vous GK. C'est un espace d'expression, un moment de partage et d'enrichissement. Ce sont des échanges pertinents sur différentes thématiques, pour la recherche de solutions aux problématiques sociétales. Alors, Guillaume Kofi vous donne rendez-vous, jeudi à 5h de l'après-midi, sur les antennes, de la radio 4 saisons.
Hello everyone. Thanks for listening to Radio 4 saisons. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, Veronica Lares from Bold Coaching Studio. With over 20 years of international experience across 5 industries, she has passion for leadership, strategic innovation, and operational excellence. She is a certified coach, mentor, and entrepreneur who is on a mission to transform virtual teams, leaders, and remote professionals into high-performing powerhouses. She has lived and worked in both Canada and Argentina. She has accepted to be our guest on Les Rendez-vous GK today and talk about self-sabotage. We are going to be diving into questions like, what exactly is self-sabotage and how does it show up in our daily lives? How does it negatively impact our careers, relationships, and even health? We will also explore the root causes of this behavior, how to recognize its signs, and most importantly, strategies to overcome it. Stay tuned. I am Guillaume Kofi.
Les rendez-vous GK, la référence qui fait la différence. Les rendez-vous GK, la référence qui fait la différence.
Lushila kama komela ngelo, kama kanete atonanga kamingane, dowo nyawa kama demengole yema, anakala sacha wakadangana, gasoli mola wa wakadangana hu. Jenda kangalo kombe Shio limolati okololo kano La ofokotano o malongelo Bele anache wato kalasa Dodi kumanyi wa chocho limu Neche da ololo wa zaire mboka lokomela su ato wakalele fula ana wakalele fula davonje na kanga lokomi lokomela so viva oye oh viva oye nyomile bonde nyochiketende kuru papa wemba mboya ase viva wamboya tende papa lokamelo kumbi dosenge senge donge kuru ya kamboya leli ah leli ah leli ah leli ah.
Bienvenue sur la radio 4 saisons. Bienvenue sur la radio 4 saisons.
Les rendez-vous GK, la référence qui fait la différence.
Lekolo, lekolo, lekolo. Hey, la mama, don't put moi.
You're still listening to Radio 4 Saisons. Veronica Lares, a certified coach, mentor, and entrepreneur from Bold Coaching Studio, is our guest today. Hello, Veronica. Welcome to Radio 4 Saisons.
Hi, Guillaume. Great to be here. Thank you for the invitation to your program.
My pleasure, my pleasure. You are talking to us now from Argentina. You say that?
Yes.
And is there a specific place? I want to know.
Yes. I'm in Córdoba, which is the second largest city in the country. A beautiful place surrounded by mountains and lakes and beautiful weather. We're in spring now here and looking forward to the summer.
Okay. What are the temperatures there today?
It's about 20 degrees.
Oh.
Pretty warm, but temperate at the same time. It's beautiful, sunny and gorgeous, full of flowers and birds and
Oh.
the best time of the year here.
Oh, it's getting colder and colder over here.
I know. I don't envy you guys at all.
Do you miss a little bit the cold of Canada?
Not at all. I miss my friends. I miss the people and the culture, but not there for sure.
For sure. And by the way, are you planning, I don't know, a trip over here?
Maybe next year, but not in the winter for sure.
Okay. You have already decided.
Yes, probably in the summer. It was my favorite time of the year in Canada, and I used to live in the Ottawa region, so close to the park, and I love that area, and I have many friends in the Ottawa area as well, and I miss them. I would love to see them again, so I will find the time to try to travel again next year.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna meet in person because I am in Ottawa.
Yes, I know. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll get you a coffee. I'll invite you for a coffee for sure. We'll catch up.
Thank you so much in advance. Dear listeners, you're listening to Radio 4 Saisons. The talk show is called Les Rendez-vous GK. You can listen to us. You can listen to me on Thursdays, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to 10:30 p.m. Universal Time. I would like to introduce our guest to you now. Veronica Lares is from Bold Coaching Studio. Veronica is a certified coach, mentor, and entrepreneur who is on a mission to transform virtual teams, leaders, and remote professionals into high-performing powerhouses. With over 20 years of international experience across 5 industries, Veronica's passion for leadership, strategic innovation, and operational excellence shines through in everything she does. Beyond her impressive credentials, which include a master in economics, a degree in political science, and double certifications in life and health coaching, Veronica brings a unique personal journey. She has lived and worked in both Canada and Argentina. Yeah, she just said it. She speaks 3 languages and pivoted boldly in her career to become an entrepreneur in her 40s. Veronica is also a breast cancer survivor and a passionate health advocate, dedicating her time to fundraising and offering coaching services to support others. Thank you, Veronica, for accepting our invite today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Dear listeners, the talk is going to be about self-sabotage. Yes, self-sabotage. Myself, I didn't know much about that before. Yeah, I got into that. I sent a message to Veronica. I said, okay, I'm going to do a little research about that. Before that, no, 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 no. So we are going to learn. We are going to learn a lot. And we will be diving into questions like what exactly is self-sabotage and how does it show up in our daily lives? How does it negatively impact our careers, relationships, and even health? We will also explore the root causes of this behavior and how to recognize its signs and, most importantly, strategies to overcome it. Veronica, before you share your expertise and insight on the topic, can you please introduce Bold Coaching Studio to listeners?
Thank you, Guillaume. Bold Coaching Studio is an initiative that I started about a year and a half ago. I always use the service of coaches, and it's one of those things that you hope that you would be able to do yourself in your life at some point. And during the pandemic, we decided to move back from Canada to Argentina and closer to the family. I was born in Argentina, so we moved the family here. And as soon as I got, settled and everything, as you mentioned, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And it's one of those experiences that change your life forever. It's one of those moments. It's an opportunity to, take the second chance at life and do something that you always have been postponing and you always wanted to do, and you always found excuses not to do. So I said, well, I will start my coaching certification as a self-healing journey. And I realized that there are so many people that could also benefit from that, from coaching in general. Okay. So I decided to start offering the services as a coach, leveraging my expertise in the business world for a long time. And that's how Bold Coaching Studio was born, basically. And since then, I've been offering my services, internationally, and I'm very happy and fulfilled about that. It's a tremendous reward to be able to, help people to move forward in life, especially in the areas that I focus on, which is career leadership, with the best putting the best foot forward, I guess. And that's what basically I'm trying to do through the studio.
Okay, excellent, interesting as well. And I was wondering if you can tell us just a little bit about the fact of becoming a certified coach. So how does someone become a certified coach?
Well, basically what I did is I say I'm a certified coach because I have a double certification. I took a course through the Health Coach Institute in the United States. Okay. We certify you as a health and life coach. It's a double certification. It's a very comprehensive coursework that also includes practical application and practical coaching hours with colleagues in order to be able to give you a certification. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, maybe we might talk later about coaching. I don't know if I'm interested about that. Interested in that. I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. You're listening to Radio 4 Saisons, the best online radio station in the world. Veronica Lares is our guest on your favorite show, Les Rendez-vous GK. Veronica is from Bold Coaching Studio. She's a certified coach, mentor, and entrepreneur. The topic is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. Yeah. Veronica, would you please define self-sabotage in everyday terms, please?
Yeah, for sure. So when we we talk about self-sabotage, which is very common, by the way, and we all do it one way or the other, we're talking about certain behaviors or thoughts, patterns that undermine our goals, success, or well-being. What I mean by that is, when you want to say that you want to achieve something and your actions say something differently, you're kind of holding yourself back. I will talk about some examples of that, but that's basically it. We believe certain things that may be going against our goals and our objectives, and that translate into actions that basically do not allow us to achieve those goals and objectives.
Okay. So it's related to objectives. Is that what you mean?
It's related to objectives or outcomes that we want to achieve in life.
Outcomes. Okay. And what are some of the most common forms of self-sabotage that people experience?
Yeah, when I tell you this will be kind of obvious for people to realize what self-sabotage is, but basically an example of that will be procrastination, right? When we want to, for example, we have that project at work that we really feel very nervous delivering, and we start finding ways to distract ourselves and watch TV, our favorite Netflix show, and the hours passes and we don't get to work on that project that is due tomorrow. Procrastination, right? That's kind of a very, very obvious example of how we can self-sabotage our objective, which is to finish up the project. Another example would be for perfectionism. Those of us that are recovered perfectionists can definitely understand that. It's just we want to have that report. Let's stick to the report example, perfect, right? And we keep changing things, tweaking things, and we never get to deliver it on time, right? Because we're afraid that if it's not that perfect, it won't be well received or it won't be good enough. So perfectionism is also a way of self-sabotaging ourselves. Another example could be being busy, when I'll give you another example here. When we say, I will go to the gym, but I'm so busy. I will go to the gym when I'm less busy after I finish this project, right? And there is not very difficult to find a good time to actually go to the gym. We keep putting things on our plate, right? And prioritizing other things. And I'm saying, I'm so busy that I'm not able to do that. But we're actually self-sabotaging ourselves against our objective, which is going to the gym or being healthier, because we keep putting things on the plate. So it's we want to do something. However, our actions take us in a different direction.
Okay. And those decisions may be conscious or unconscious, I might say. So how can we tell the difference?
That's a very interesting question. Actually, it's a mix of both. So why would we self-sabotage? Is because we have a belief system, like a series of thoughts, of beliefs about ourselves and our circumstances that form through time and through our experiences. Those beliefs are unconscious. Okay. And then there are the actions, the things that we do, or the goals that we say that we want to accomplish. Those are conscious, right? So when we have a contradiction between what we believe and what we actually want to achieve, our brain goes into question mode and self-sabotage appear. There may be a negative association, for example, between achieving a goal and being the type of person who achieved that goal. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Some of us could have been raised in an environment where we said we have been instilled certain beliefs about people that have money, for example. I don't know. For example, just making this up, but let's say people with money are not good people, are not hardworking, are et cetera, right? But on the other hand, we want to be financially secure and financially stable and have money to be able to have a life, where we can support our family and give back to the community, etc., etc. So it may happen that we are not able to get to that financial stability because everything that we earn, we spend. We are not able to save, right? So it could be that conflict between what we have been raised with, this idea that people with money is not honest or good or hardworking, and our objective of being financially stable. So that contradiction triggers something in our brain that is kind of a break, stop us from taking that action, and uses strategies like procrastination, perfectionism, things like that to protect us from ourselves, to make our actions align with our beliefs. And those beliefs, the tricky is those beliefs are, as I mentioned, unconscious, right? So we don't necessarily, it's not obvious to us. It takes a little bit of effort to realize that that's going on behind the scenes in our self-sabotaging behaviors.
Okay. I might come to some of the aspects when it comes to beliefs. I might come to those beliefs later when we'll talk about maybe some kinds of causes. But for now,
yeah, for sure.
So now, just I want us to talk about continue and talk about some other questions and try to find some other answers to. Our resourceful person today is Veronica Lares from Bold Coaching Studio. She's on a mission to transform virtual teams. Don't forget, please, listeners, she's here and she helps a lot leaders as well and remote professionals in high-performing powerhouses. Please, now Veronica has given a definition of self-sabotage. Yeah, and now we are going to see some of the signs and how that can maybe impact negatively our lives, our relationships, our health. So, Veronica, what are the potential drawbacks of self-sabotage in different areas of life? I'm thinking of career, relationships, and health.
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, self-sabotage is not a problem until it becomes a problem. And what I mean by that is just we all do it. It's super normal and it's a reaction of the brain, as I mentioned earlier, to protect us, right? But at the end of the day, if left unchecked, self-sabotage can be a significant obstacle to achieving our goals. Okay. And it may create feeling of frustration, disappointment, and regret, something that we don't want to experience necessarily, right? But because imagine you say that you want to achieve something, lose weight, and you are constantly self-sabotaging yourself. How would you feel about that? So that's kind of the issue here. If we don't pay attention and try to find the root causes of self-sabotage, then it can have definitely a negative impact. And we may not even know that we're doing it. We're questioning why are we not achieving certain objectives or goals. Yeah. We may not be noticing that our actions are taking us in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about some other signs, and I would like us to talk about, I don't know if you have some kind of red flags that might indicate someone is self-sabotaging. Of course, you gave some examples. Do you have some other examples, please?
Red flags?
Yeah.
For example, when we have goals that, New Year resolutions. That would be a great example. Who can ever fulfill a New Year resolution? very few people, really. 80% of us don't fulfill New Year resolutions, and that is the case of critical case of self-sabotage. We may find the motivation to start pursuing a particular goal, and that lasts a couple weeks, and then our brain tells us it's not worth it. We're not seeing the results that we expected. It's not happening for us. Self-doubt creeps up. Self-criticism, and then we abandon our objective. So that, when you start feeling like you're not able to achieve a goal, when you lose patience, you start not seeing the point, when you lose your initial motivation, those are red flags of this is self-sabotage.
Yeah, you were talking about some kinds of New Year's, I don't know. What did you say? New Year's what?
New Year resolution.
Yeah, resolution. Let's take an example. If somebody improvise something, the person does it. Is that conscious? Can we call that conscious sabotage, or how do you put it? I don't know.
What do you mean improvising?
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say
if I say
improvising?
If I say okay. Next year in 2025, I'm gonna have a trip to, I don't know, to Argentina. Is that a conscious sabotaging or sabotage?
Yeah, well, it's kind of difficult to say. You need to understand what's your goal.
Okay.
Basically, and if those actions that you're taking align with that goal or not. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to understand many aspects.
Yeah, it's a complicated concept, and definitely when I found out about it for the first time, I said, oh my God, I'm so self-sabotaging in my daily life. It's incredible the amount of things that I could identify that were taking me back, and I say, oh my God, no wonder. Some are obvious, some are not so obvious, but at the end of the day, we all do it, and it's super common, but it's not an easy concept to understand either, or the why we do it. But it's a good way to explain why we do not sometimes achieve the things that we set up to achieve in life.
Okay. Hopefully, I will not be self-sabotaging a lot. But you know what?
That's the wish for everyone.
You know what? When you were talking about procrastinating, postponing things, for many years, I started writing a book. I have not completed yet.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's a great example because it's scary. When we set up a big objective, like writing a book, our brain starts, questioning: is this a good idea? It would be good for me. What could happen if I don't end the book in time? What would happen if people don't like it? We start questioning. So our brain tries to protect us and say, oh, better if you stay in your comfort zone and don't write that book at all. That is far less risky and you will be more comfortable. So you will start taking actions in a way that you start writing less and less until you stop writing altogether. That's a great example, Guillaume. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about that. Thank you so much.
It's not you, it's the self-sabotage speaking.
Yeah, anyway, I don't take it personally. No, Veronica, I don't think anything personally. No. Dear listeners, you're still listening to Les Rendez-vous GK on Radio 4 Saison, and Veronica Lares is our guest today. Now, I would like us to navigate some root causes and signs. What are some of the root causes, I might say, of self-sabotaging behavior?
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this before.
Yeah.
Low self-esteem, fear of failure, past trauma, negative beliefs. That's some of the causes or the reasons why we may be self-sabotaging. For example, just let me give you a couple of examples here so that we all get to understand this concept a little bit better. How many of us wanted to pursue an artistic career, for example, a career as an artist? And we've been told as youngsters that the artists are, the famous starving artists. You won't make it. There is so much competition. There are just so few opportunities that the artists struggle financially, right? So we may have been raised with these beliefs. So what we would do is we will kind of not pursue an artistic career and go into banking, finance, law, which are those careers that are perceived to be more successful, financially stable, etc., etc. And why do we do that? Because of fear of failure. And why we do that is because we're triggered by those beliefs that we've been forming throughout our life about what an artist kind of life, the kind of life that an artist have, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of an example. Another example would be, let's say that you've been doing the same thing for a long time, and you feel that it's time to change your career, right? You're tired, you're not inspired anymore, you want to do something else, but then you're afraid that if you get out in the job market, will you find a job that is as good as the one that you have? Will you find a job at all, right? So we start questioning ourselves, our capability, we are afraid of getting out of our comfort zone, and then we don't work on our CV, we don't apply to jobs, right? And we stay stuck in our career for, feeling this sense of security. So that is self-sabotage as well. It's basically a coping mechanism. Self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. It's a self-protection mechanism. There is nothing wrong with it. It's just the way that our brain works to protect us against risk.
Okay.
Let me give you another example.
Go ahead.
Losing weight. How many of us have wanted to lose baby weight or post-holiday weight? And, the diet that we're going to may last a week, and then we're back eating ice cream and chocolate and all these kind of sugars and all these things that are not going to help us lose weight. Why do we do that? It's because, again, our brain is trying to keep us in our comfort zone, and it's very, very difficult to break patterns and beliefs and to incorporate new habits. So those are all examples of self-sabotage. And it comes back to those root causes that we talk about. Low self-esteem, fear of failure, maybe post-trauma or negative beliefs.
And those aspects or those examples might go back to our upbringing or childhood experiences, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Everything you can think like our brain is like a computer. It just gathers information through our lives, our experience, the teaching of our parents, our teachers, our friends, live past experiences, etc., and accumulates all that information that shapes the person that we are. And that influences how we act. So basically, the way that our brain work or our life work, according to neuro-linguistic programming, which is kind of the area of psychology that I relate the most with, is that we do have certain beliefs. Those beliefs make us think or generate our thoughts. Those thoughts translate into actions. We think a certain way, we act a certain way, those results come to confirm our beliefs. So see, it's a little bit of a loop here that starts with the beliefs that come back to the actions and the consequences of those actions in real life. And that loop that we repeat through our lives, it's just what our brain is trying to do is trying to keep confirming the same beliefs through our actions, our results. And that's what kind of triggers self-sabotage.
Yeah. And everything together can, I might say, shape a specific personality trait or mental health condition.
Well, as I mentioned, all of us self-sabotage in different degrees, right? It becomes a problem which is a really big issue that is preventing us from achieving our goals or the life that we want. But yes, there are certain traits that are more prone to self-sabotage. Low self-esteem, for example, is one of them. So people that have low self-esteem may believe that they don't deserve success. So subconsciously, they self-sabotage their own efforts in order to not to be disappointed after, right? If you have, for example, anxiety can also lead to self-sabotage in a number of ways. For example, if we have anxiety about a certain task, we tend to procrastinate to avoid that task because we are afraid of failure. So having anxiety about a certain issue may cause self-sabotage. Perfectionism, as I mentioned again, if we're a perfectionist, we may tend to set up unrealistic goals for ourselves and then become discouraged when we don't achieve them. So we keep perfecting and we never get to achieve our goal. Fear of failure, for example. So when we have fear of failure, we may be avoiding taking risk at all, right? And even if the rewards of taking the risk are great, our fear may stop us from taking any action, or the action that we take may stop us from achieving our goals better. And another case could be PTSD, right? And we use self-sabotage in order to avoid situations that remind us of post-trauma. So yes, although it's not, we all do it. If we have certain traits, we may be more inclined to self-sabotage.
Yeah. It's a vast terminology or concept, self-sabotage. And I remember that you talked about self-protection. Self-sabotage can be a form of self-protection. I did not get much, or I did not understand clearly. If you talked about hidden purpose, I don't know. Can you come back to self-sabotage as something that might serve as a hidden purpose? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So if we have, for example, let me make it really, really simple for you. If we are afraid of failure, right? We want to, let's take your example of writing the book, right?
Yeah.
Let's say that you really want to write this book. It was a dream that you had from your childhood. You have what will be like amazing, to achieve this goal. You set up to write a book. And then you start writing a book, and and then you start finding excuses not to write a book. You're too busy with the radio show to write the book.
Yeah.
You may have other commitments and other responsibilities or business opportunities that take you away from writing the book, right? And you start losing motivation about writing the book, and other things take priority in your life. But what may be really happening underneath all that is you're really afraid of what would happen if I write the book, if I publish the book, and nobody buys it.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if nobody knows? Would have wasted so many times, so many years or days or whatever writing this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I need to get out there for people to judge me? What would people think? all these getting busy with other responsibilities, putting this in the back burner, losing motivation, those which are self-sabotaging behaviors are trying to protect you from taking the risk of writing the book and failing.
Mm-hmm.
See? So that's kind of the idea behind it. It's your brain trying to protect you from risk.
Wow.
Does
Thank you.
it make sense?
Yeah. Everything is getting clearer and clearer.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. You're still listening to Les Rendez-vous GK on Radio 4 Saison, the best worldwide radio station. Veronica Lares, a certified coach, a mentor, and entrepreneur from Bold Coaching Studio, is our guest today. Having covered some negative consequences, I might say, and explored some root causes and signs, Veronica is going to take us now through some strategies to overcome self-sabotage. Yeah, this can be maybe one of the most important parts because we should have some tools how to overcome self-sabotage. So, Veronica, how can we become more aware of our own self-sabotaging patterns and tendencies?
Yeah, that's a good question. And because I mentioned that these beliefs that we have are really unconscious.
Yeah.
Right? They are in the unconscious part of the brain. So the first trick to become aware of self-sabotage is make them unconscious, right? Is being aware that those things are happening. Questioning ourselves, okay, why am I saying that I want to do this and I actually doing all the opposite? I will never get to do this if I do that. So some exercises, some ideas to kind of become more aware that we are self-sabotaging ourselves, maybe journaling, maybe taking the time to identify some of the negative thoughts that may be driving our fear or our self-sabotaging behaviors, and analyzing past behavior. Have I done this before? Is this something that I do every time that I have a big project or a big objective? Trying to identify patterns. Because it's something that is one-off, as I mentioned, it's not a big deal. But if it becomes a pattern, let's say every time that I have to make a project, deliver a project, I procrastinate to the point that I'm always delivering that project late, then it is a pattern of mine. There is something that triggers me every time that I have to deliver a project, that I get fearful, that I freeze, that, I get nervous, etc., that is making me procrastinate.
Yeah.
Or am I feeling insecure that I need to have it so perfect to the point that I'm always delivering my projects late because I wanted to have it perfect. So analyzing and looking back to how we have behaved and trying to identify those patterns through our life is very, very helpful. I have a really cool exercise that I do sometimes with some of my clients, and is really trying to analyze or actually more than analyze, identify the unconscious and conscious contradictions that exist. Meaning, am I saying that I'm doing something, that I want to do something, and I'm doing the opposite? So that's kind of the first step. The second step is, look, it's okay. Self-sabotage is here to protect us. So acknowledge and thinking that this behavior is there to really make us feel safer. It's also leaving judgment behind and being more self-compassionate towards ourselves and patient, and saying, look, at the end of the day, it's not the ideal behavior, but it's trying to teach me something. It's trying to protect me. So this is the best I can do with what I know and with the resources that I have. So self-compassion will be step number 2. Step number 3, try to disconnect the action from the feeling. What I mean from that is, if really this action is triggering me fear, for example, is trying to disconnect that action from the fear by acting anyways. So just taking the action directly to fulfill the goal. There's a lot of scientific research about, facing anxiety and fear. I'm not necessarily an expert in this area, but I would invite your audience to take a look into that more if they're interested. But there are a lot of exposure therapy literature and research that supports the fact that actually taking action results in us overcoming our fears at the end. When we take action, we realize that it wasn't that bad after all, that the image of the monster in our brain was bigger than it really, really is. So it's basically three steps, just to recap. So try to self-awareness, try to identify those patterns, those behaviors that are contradicting our beliefs. The second step is just self-compassion, making sure that we know that behavior, self-sabotaging behavior, is there to protect us. And number 3 is taking action either way to get the result that we want.
Yeah. Maybe I might add forgiveness. Can forgiveness play in breaking the cycle? Okay.
Yes, I completely agree.
Okay.
Forgiveness is part of being self-compassion with ourselves. Yes, we're definitely not perfect. We're human beings, and we do the best that we can at the end of the day. And that's very important, because when we have low self-esteem, as I mentioned, and negative self-talk, that doesn't help the self-sabotage behavior. For the contrary, it makes it worse. So starting with, forgiveness, I have been doing that for a long time, but now that I know better, I'll do better. Those are the kind of things that will help us move forward and get out of this self-sabotaging loop.
Okay, interesting. From my understanding, it's just, I'm coming back. I'm gonna. Yeah, I was saying, from my understanding, maybe there are some kind of there is a personal journey in that. It's mostly a personal journey. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely agree.
Okay.
Self-sabotage looks differently for all of us. So it's that journey of self-discovery that would allow us to identify those areas that we may be self-sabotaging and those beliefs that are feeding that self-sabotaging behavior at the end of the day, right? It's a self-exploration, self-reflection, compassion, and then action.
Excellent. Wow. Woof. So interesting. We cannot cover everything within an hour on radio. Maybe you should come back. Thank you so much, Veronica, for sharing your expertise and insight on a topic that affects so many of us. Yeah, self-sabotage. I'm sure, many of us, many of you listeners are going through self-sabotage. And I think the answers that our guest gave to many questions that I asked her about self-sabotage, everything shows that we all should do our part, and then have a healthy life or healthier life, have good relationships, and have I might say, productive career. This brings us to our closing words, but before, let's take a musical break. Is that okay? We'll come back, just a musical break, and then we'll come back for the closing words. Okay?
Perfect.
Bye.
ata yo kendeki parie ngaya wasekotuna yo mokolo nini okozonga opangwisanga maya miso mokolo nini okoya papa wembao papa naleli
okongenga lokola moya tongo kokomalanga yebake depuis namonaki yo enga nakoma trouble lokola moto liboso ya desheme wapi nzela ya bien otrouble ngai bongo asi tina ngonga ya minuye pongi eboyinga gizimanora.
Si je savais que c'est toi qui allais troubler mon cœur, mais naebisaka na yawe tomona na terre. Et depuis nakutana na yo ngai c'est pas pensé oh. Depuis nakutana na bébé nanalaka te.
Les rendez-vous GK, c'est avec Guillaume Kofi.
Nathalie on a mon fléri et pas ya lola moleka na komiti na poligarde ozate koko komisinga de payse ya bolingo na yo koko malanga koko mon amour koko malanga koko mon amour.
I'll be back for you.
My love is gone away.
I'll be back for you.
So far away.
Soki a débarqué, Osaka Kanata Yeo. Surtout Soki a lati Versace ou bien Nati Congo.
Coco, malanga, Coco, mon amour. Coco, malanga, Coco,
mon amour.
Coco soki oboyinga. Kokani na yo konga nalinga na motema otiki ata espace te koko ilembo na motema ata na miso Dieu le père kitoko na nzoto perdu cavalier solitaire solitaire
Kosoki oboyinga
nakozo mosusu wapi oya kokani na yo Ungana lingana motema otiki ata espace te koko ilemba na motema ata na miso Dieu le père kitoko na nzoto perdu cavalier solitaire cavalier solitaire bana Londres
cavalier solitaire
montika na ngai
cavalier solitaire
cavalier, cavalier, cavalier solitaire.
Thank you for listening to Radio 4 Saison, les rendez-vous GK. Thank you for accepting to be here today. Listen to Veronica Lares, a certified coach, mentor, entrepreneur from Bold Coaching Studio. We are talking about self-sabotage. It's time now for the closing words, and Veronica is here to say goodbye before she leaves. Veronica, what message of hope, I might say, of hope would you like to give to someone struggling with self-sabotage?
Well, Guillaume, if I had to kind of make it short and sweet, I would say that self-sabotage is a coping mechanism that we learn throughout our life to protect ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. And as any learned behavior is something that we can unlearn or change. So through self-awareness, and reflection and being conscious about our patterns, we can break the cycle of self-sabotage in order to be more successful and achieve our goals. So that's kind of my wish for everybody in the audience. Self-sabotage is something that we can change, and that will be my message of hope.
Excellent. Can you please share some of your contacts with listeners?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you can find me in LinkedIn if you want to see my profile there, or my website, boldcoachingstudio.com, or you can email me to veronica@boldcoachingstudio.com with questions. I offer a free consultation for those that may be interested in coaching, and I'm looking forward to hearing from your audience about how they are dealing with their own self-sabotage. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation, Guillaume.
My pleasure, Veronica. Thank you so much, and keep on bringing a unique personal journey in life and health coaching. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to each and everyone for listening today. Thank you. And Veronica Lares was our guest today. Yes, she's a certified coach, mentor, and entrepreneur from Bold Coaching Studio. Yeah, she was our guest. I said it to you. And the topic was self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. Thank you so much, Veronica. And hopefully we'll meet in person. We'll meet in person when you will come over here next year in Ottawa. Dear listeners, this is Les Rendez-vous GK on Radio 4 Saison. Bye-bye. See you next time.
ya esanga lulu anga na luka luka samba nyoso anga mokende na yebaka te o mobali alibuza mokende na mai soki na masuwa soki mpe na bwato bija ya virunga omemi motema na ngai wapi natikali awa kuwa ya pamba na belie stoma likolo na yo ogisha natikali awa relikia se moko neleto kwelani ogisha c'est pourquoi natindi j'ai hâte ses parents abonnez-la au Kishaya.
Vous êtes branchés sur la radio du monde.
Songa songa o Kishanga wa mawa. Songa o mama. Tete nanga ya manga o papa. Yude wanga wa mote. Saka akinanga e galida o. Sela bolingo. Petito boda boda e dorise o. Shananga o yeba. Shane mukoko e mazo ze kololo na je ya temo. Nako wa o papa. Nako wa o mama. Nako poche ya plaisir nayeba okosaninga te mpona ndenge otikanga sango te liloba te paradis na biso panza okikamba tinda letre ya pamba ata ezangi adresse nayeba ozali koexiste shewashi nabengi kuna eyano te o moto moko akoyamba te kuna nakinisango te o moto moko akoyamba te sheri soki okomi kuna linga fololo moko natia na poche ya plaisir nayeba obosanenga te mpona ndenge otikanga sango te liloba te paradis na biso opanza okikamba tina letre ya pamba ata ezangi l'adresse nayeba ozali koexiste
Vous êtes branchés sur la fréquence ensoleillée Radio 4 saisons.
Louison Moukoko Okiagoko Moro et Rombo Switzerland Nerosh Kamanga Esmeralda Jacques Moulele nettoyant de la sable Evelina Gongolé
Arthur Nsemene Nespa Mola Japonais Okito Roger Niwa Bongo Jurango Tokutana na référence Ebaya Soso Pembe Elu Isabelle Njongo Sylvie Mala Meise Panga Leki ya moto Tosolo la lisolo kitoko Miziki ketoko
Yeah, 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 yeah. Shake, shake it. Shake, shake, shake it. Abebi Teran. Papi Lungala. Ibe Idebokao. Thierry Colli. Shake, 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 shake it. Géant élégant Betito.
En direct de London, Michael Ikala, Eau de bien, Ipanga, Souvenianga, Wapinka Moudike Mbese,
Jamol. En pole position.
Welcome to the colorful station. Welcome, Guillaume Coffee.
Una Rolande Sangote o. Mirage Borsa Sangote o.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate,
Babi Azeno ni Italie.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate,
Ate Chiwa Sankruma na Nyame o.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate,
Wini tuwe doksi yeye na miso e.
Mokwa Koyambate,
Poison sécurité.
Mokwa Koyambate,
Chile Maso Sango Nino.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate,
Yolori c'est la Congolaise e.
Mokwa Koyambate,
Dede Makonda Sango Nino.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate,
Joël Photo Sangote o.
Moto Mokwa Koyambate.
Puta Fuala Narichana. Dios, c'est là.
Écoutez, Guillaume Coffey vous présente, tous les jeudis soirs, dès 17h, sur les ondes de la radio 4 saisons, les rendez-vous GK. C'est un espace d'expression, un moment de partage et d'enrichissement. Ce sont des échanges pertinents sur différentes thématiques, pour la recherche de solutions aux problématiques sociétales. Alors, Guillaume Coffy vous donne rendez-vous, jeudi à 5h de l'après-midi, sur les antennes de la radio 4 saisons.